Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt. Welcome to the new Brit workshop. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Festool's cordless sanders. They've recently been introduced and I've managed to get my hands on all three of them. They are from left to right, the DTSC 400, the ETSC 125 and the RTSC 400. Now, these have been kindly lent to me by Festool UK. They're on a fairly short leash and I have to return them within the next couple of weeks. And in that time, I will be making two videos. This video, which outlines the details of the three sanders, but then I'm going to do a second video, which will really look at sanding with Festool in general. And I've got the perfect project to help that video along as I'm trying to restore an old cabinet, which really does need an awful lot of sanding. Now, with each set, the tool comes in a CIS Combi 2, that's this sustainer here. And it has two parts, the upper luggage tool storage area here, and then a lower area where there is a quite large drawer. And with the set version, you will get two batteries. One will be attached to the tool. The second one will be in a cardboard container like this one. You will get a rapid charger, and this is the TCL6 charger. You will also get a mains power supply unit, which would replace the battery in the sander, and you would then use the standard plug-it cord here to power the tool. And it comes with a plug-it cable as well. And of course there are instructions, guarantee information and so on inside the box. Now remember, if you register the tool soon after purchase, you will qualify for the 3-year no quibble all-inclusive guarantee, and that includes theft insurance. Now, before I start talking about the tools themselves, I'm going to talk about those items which are common across the range. And I'm going to start with the batteries. Now, these batteries are 3.1 ampere hour 18 volt batteries. And on the end here, you'll notice there's a little button and a little display. If I press the button, you'll see that that one lights up with 3 lights. That indicates it's fully charged. And this battery I haven't touched. This is straight out of the packet. And that one just has one light that comes on. The mains adapter looks very much like a battery, apart from the fact it's got a socket on the end for the plug-it cable, and that fits into the same compartment on each of the tools where the battery would go. Now, the battery charger is very clever. It's got a lot of built-in control electronics, and it will charge one of these batteries, a 3.1 ampere hour battery, in 33 minutes. And as well as charging the batteries that come with these tools, you can also charge the legacy batteries, the BPC and the BPS standard battery. And a 5.2 ampere hour battery would charge on one of these from flat in 45 minutes. Now, although these are clearly three quite different sanders, they share a lot in common. To start with, they all have the same brushless motor and also the same MMC motor control, which means that even under load the speed will be kept constant, and it also means that there is thermal protection built in for the motors. We know already that the batteries are common and they all share the same dust collection concept. There's a choice of either the long life dust collection bag, which is mounted directly on the machine. This can be removed, and when it's removed you can connect a normal 27mm hose to the port that's here. These bags are easy to empty, and then this clicks back on to the sander. Now, I've noticed that all three of these, getting this back on securely, just needs a little bit of care. It's probably because the tools are new, and I found that clicking it into place, you can hear it go click, and it's then held quite firmly. Now, all three have the same 2mm stroke. All three weigh 1.4 kilograms. And all three have been designed with vibration reduction in mind. Their speeds, again, all three range from 6,000 to 10,000 revs per minute. And the speed can be adjusted with a little control here. It goes from 1 to 6. And it's the same on each machine. And each machine comes with an edge protector. And these click on very simply. And the machine operation is straightforward. There's an on-off switch at the front here. And of course, with each of them, should you wish, you can remove the integral battery, put in the power supply unit, connect a plug-it cord, and you have exactly the same power as you would have with the battery. Now, in order to show these sanders working, I've got a piece of oak veneered MDF, and this has been varnished with something. It was a long time ago, so I don't know what it was, probably polyurethane. Now, these sanders come with one sheet of sandpaper, and it's a 120 grit granite in each case. So let's give this one a whirl. I'm going to use this one at this end. That's pretty much as I would expect. I was very comfortable using it one-handed with no problem at all. Because I'm demonstrating this as it's going over an edge, there will be some dust escaping its dust collection. There's a little bit there, and you can't see it, but there's a tiny bit on this side. Now I'm going to give the RTS a go. Now the DTS. Now, it may be too soon, but I'm just going to take a look inside the little dust bag and see if there's anything visible. And you can probably see that there is some detritus in there. There we go. Now, with a tool like the ETS, in fact any sander really, as you get to an edge, you cannot expect all of the dust to be collected as it goes over an edge. So I'm going to run this sander now and avoid going over the edge. I'll do my best. The material is a piece of 1 inch thick MDF, and it's had a veneer attached to it, which is walnut. I'm going to run this for a little while. My cloth is as clean as I could get it. It's been shaken out. There's no visible sign of any dust at all. Right, I'm going to stop there because my cloth is creeping slightly. Now then, let me tell you now, there's no dust that's spread onto the cloth at all. However, you can see a little bit of dust on the surface here. So it's not absolutely 100% collecting all the dust, but that dust that is there wasn't flying around in the atmosphere. Let's have a look inside. And there's certainly a lot of dust in there. Because there's a little bit of dust on the surface, that gives me an opportunity to see if I can pick it up with the sander. And I'm going to hold it close to the surface. I've now picked up that dust that was there, and you can probably just see there's only a very slight bit of dust on the surface, and that's really due to the fact that some of that dust is clinging to the material. Now, I believe that extra dust that was deposited on the surface here was when I was trying to put the machine under some pressure and try and see if I could get any variance in the motor speed. I didn't achieve it, by the way. And there you can see I've gone all the way through the veneer in the middle. Right, I'm now going to flip this over, and I'm going to do a similar test using the RTSC 400. I would say there that the dust is absolutely negligible. I've removed my cloth because there was no evidence of any dust escaping around the sides here. And finally, I've got the DTSC. I'm absolutely not worried about dust collection with that at all. And I think the only observation I can truly make is that if you've got the ETSC and you're putting a huge amount of pressure on it, you are going to get a little bit of build-up of dust. that dust is not flying in the atmosphere, it's just what's left there, which is accumulated under the pad, and you can pick it up by just going over it very lightly. So really, I think perhaps my test is unfair, but that does show the extreme case. And by the way, I've got another hole in my veneer. Don't try this at home, boys and girls. Now, emptying the bags on these is pretty straightforward. You can either undo this and shake it into a bag of some sort, or you can use your dust extractor and that is now pretty much empty. Close that up, and then we put it back on the tool like so. A little click and that's in place. I'm now going to show you how easy it is to convert this to mains operation. First, remove the battery, insert the mains adapter pack, and then really we would just plug the plug-it cable in. But I think in reality, if you're connected to the mains, there's a good chance you're going to be connected also to your extractor. So I've got my extractor here, and you just push that on, a little bayonet connector, and then attach the plug-it cable, and then just turn the machine on. The machine starts and the extractor starts. Well, I think that was pretty straightforward, but I'm now going to try it with the ETSC just to see if it makes any difference to its dust collection. Well, absolutely no residual dust there this time, so clearly it is more efficient when attached to an extractor. However, I don't think it was bad before, so that I suppose we'd expect it to be better with an extractor. One thing I did notice in my practice go for this was that if I put enough pressure on this, I could actually get the machine to stop, and it's a safety feature. There it goes. That is the control electronics saying, whoa, this guy's being a bit stupid here, and it shuts the machine off in the most arduous of situations. I was really pressing hard. You can see my white knuckles. Well, that went on a little bit longer than I had intended, but I really did want to get all those points across. Now, do remember that these sanders are designed to free you from the mains lead and to free you from the need for a vacuum hose to be attached. That gives you all sorts of freedoms. The freedom to work above your head safely, certainly if you're up a ladder. The freedom to just go and grab something from one end of the workshop, take it to the other, and do a little sanding job, and off you go. Now, for a professional, I can just imagine the scene, a phone call from Mrs. Miggins, where you'd been a couple of weeks earlier, and one of the drawers is just a little bit tight, and she says, please pop over and sort it out. Well, with one of these sanders, you just grab it and go. No need for all the rest of the clutter. You're there in, do the little sanding job, and away you go. Perhaps you'll get a cup of tea if you're a good boy. Now, don't take my word for it. You need to try out one of these sanders for yourself. Certainly get hold of one and feel it in your hands. Go to a show or go to your dealer and ask to see one of the sanders that I've shown you today. Now, in my next video, I'm going to be attempting to do a sort of which Festool sander type video. And I'm mustering all the sanders that I can get my hands on, the few that I own, these three, plus a couple I borrowed from friends. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.